Hello, and thank you for joining us on this St. Petersburg College PowerPoint presentation for Law for Professionals, BUL 3130. This presentation will specifically discuss Team 1's Project Deliverable 3. Team 1's project began early in week 2, where we had to develop a hypothetical fact pattern. And from there, we had to decide whether we were charged with the defendant's side or plaintiff's side. In Team 1's case, we were charged with the defendant's side. And we used an issue evaluation form to help us depict our scenario. So Team 1 was assigned to represent the defendant's position. Specifically, Team 1 represented the defendants known as Sports Supplies, LLC. Sporting Supplies operated as a multi-state retailer of sporting goods. Sporting Supplies had previously subcontracted its marketing and advertising materials to a third party. In efforts to be more efficient, Sporting Supplies created a new in-house marketing and advertising department headed up by Chen Li. A 15-year sports supply employee named June applied for a supervisory role but was not awarded the job. Instead, Sporting Supplies hired Ms. Cho as their marketing and advertising supervisor because she possessed all of the minimum requirements and the most relevant or current certifications and educations. June simply possessed less of the minimum requirements, and the requirements that she did possess were outdated. The big question is, does June have grounds for a lawsuit? Team 1 was tasked with the defendant's position. We first decided that we must understand whether June had any basis for a lawsuit at all. We concluded that she would most likely try to file an age discrimination lawsuit under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1967, and she may also try to pursue a lawsuit based on reverse discrimination, referencing the Civil Rights Act of 1964. But ultimately, we concluded as a group that the reason June was not hired for that position was solely based on her lack of ability to meet the minimum qualifications for that position. Ms. Cho simply possessed all the minimum qualifications, and the certifications and education that Ms. Cho had was more current and relevant.
The issue is whether Sporting Supplies LLC legally and indiscriminately interviewed and hired a new supervisor and other employees for its new marketing and advertising department, and whether June has any grounds for filing a lawsuit. The first applicable law in regards to the case is age discrimination. The Age Discrimination and Employment Act of 1967 proves an employee was discriminated on the basis of age. Typically, it prohibits employment discrimination against persons 40 years of age or older. In the age discrimination case of Rashane versus Fairpoint School District, Fairpoint School District was said to have hired 3 of the youngest candidates from a group of 6 overlooking the plaintiff, Rashane. The court noted it is the employer's decision to hire the person they feel is the best candidate for the job. The candidate may be either qualified or more knowledgeable and performed well during the interview process. In the age discrimination case of Velasquez-Ortiz versus Vilsack, the plaintiff argued the employer's statement of new blood, meaning younger employees. However, the court sided with the defendant, indicating the statement new blood meant new vitality to the department. The new blood phrase meant new and younger employees bringing in newer ideas and motivating people in the office. These employees typically bring about changes that would improve the overall performance of the office. Another applicable law in regards to the case is reverse discrimination. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prevents employers from discriminating against employees based on the race, color, and national origin. This includes reverse discrimination when discrimination occurs against a majority. This is where a member or members of a majority are discriminated on the basis of a protected factor such as race or gender. June may have felt discriminated on as the new supervisor was of Chinese descent, and thereafter 3 other employees were hired of the same culture. In the case of Harding versus Gray, the court ruled an employer is going to hire the best candidate for the position and is not likely to hire a less qualified minority employee. According to the case, of the 4 candidates evaluated, 3 were highly qualified for the supervisory position and 1 received the highest rating, 22 out of 24 points. There was no evidence of discrimination as the candidates were evaluated fairly.
The decision of the age discrimination under the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967 and reverse discrimination under the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was found not to be in violation of either the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967 or the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, but found it in the best interest of the company to place Jung Chu in the supervisor role of the new Marketing and Advertising Department. The reason for the decision in reverse discrimination was that Jung Chu's certificate, qualifications, and experience in IT infrastructure made her the most qualified and valuable applicant for the position. The reason for the decision in age discrimination, even though June was over 40 years of age, was that June's experience was outdated, qualifying Jung Chu for the position and nothing to do with June's age.
The team experience for this project was fun, but unpredictable at times. During the first and second deliverables, we found it beneficial to listen to everyone's opinions and use their strengths to accomplish the assignments. The value proposition we gained from the assignment was how to represent and maintain the employer or the defendant's innocence. The communication tools we used for this project was video conferencing, posting to the group discussion board, and emailing. Our biggest challenge as a team was coordinating meeting times with everyone's schedule. Our team did not encounter any major issues during the course of the assignment requiring any sort of resolution. However, had we encountered an issue, we would have handled it in a polite and respectful manner to all of our team members. The team's takeaway from the assignments are, at times it will take a team to resolve matters in the workplace. We were able to view a case from both the perspective of the plaintiff and the defendant, learning how to communicate and work together under a deadline and assigning tasks based on strength. During the assignment, we learned that the law has a tremendous impact on business. In the decision-making process, employers have several considerations they need to take into account, including federal, state, and local laws, and then any other regulations that apply to their business.